motivation and preparation led to a new sensation, new creation. That's what you're facing. Now watch my elevation.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Gervonta Tank Davis calls out Devin Haney. Let's take a listen and then we'll react to it. So when he was speaking with Brian Custer, this is what Gervonta Davis had to say.
Talking about complaining, Devin Haney said, quote, if you don't care to go and make the big fights happen, what's the point of even leaving your current situation? Might as well stay there and be loyal to Floyd. What do you think about that?
He's an email champ. He's an email champ. He's fighting somebody melt him the belt. How is that? Did that happen in boxing anymore? And he's talking crazy, and he still got like, come on. So if you win, you said all that. If you win, I'm not on my contract. Let's make the fight happen. Since you want to talk crazy, let's do that. I want to fight you if you win, Devin Haney.
I love it. So we had Rolly on the show, right?
All right, so that's when he said he wasn't going to sign with Floyd Mayweather again, but now it's looking like he's going to sign to Floyd Mayweather again. I don't know, but in that moment, he said, if you win, I want to fight you next. Gee, what's your reaction to that? Do you think he was serious? Do you think it was cap? Do you think that fight would happen?
Yo, at that moment, I honestly thought he was serious. And I was like, don't do that to yourself. Yeah, you may think you're an email champion, but let's just keep it 100. The skills that he has, it's going to be a real rough night for Tank. You know, like, to me, you know, I have to admit, when Floyd Sr. co-signed Devin, I was like, but every time Devin Haney fights, he shows me something where I'm like, yo, he's actually special. The only time we really see Devin get hurt is when he's trying to make it like a fan-friendly fight. He doesn't have to do that. And so, to me, if he goes up against a Tank, all he has to do is actually just box. Make it boring. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still going to be exciting because Tank has that ability of the knockout and everything. So people are going to look to Tank to do the work. But if Haney is just playing the matador, hey, man, Haney's going to get all that credit. So if you want to take that fight and go up against a kid that understands distance, understands footwork, defense, you know, understands how to utilize an actual jab, you know, like Rolly's jab was kind of like almost like a, hey, kind of stay off me kind of, but this is like a real jab. If Tank think he can do that, man, go for it. But I honestly think Tank will lose. You know what I mean? So, but I respect the fact that he was like, hey, I'm now leaving. Mayweather promotes my contract's up. If you can get through Cambosis, let's make this fight happen. Hey, I think that is dope. But me personally, I think for Devin Haney, is a 3-fight deal with Top Rank. So that means Cambosis 1, Cambosis 2. And I already know the last one, I promise you, is going to be Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? So then maybe after that, you know, he could fight Tank. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be, what, like later end of 2023? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think Tank knew what he was doing when he was saying that stuff. It sounds cute, but that fight isn't going to happen anytime soon. But I would love to see that fight, and I honestly think Haney will beat Tank.
All right, Dog Bill.
To Tank, I understand his emotions and everything was on the line. Hearing like his fellow boxer Devin say something bad about it, even though, you know what I'm saying, in the past they had, you know, been around each other in the Mayweather gym, and, you know, it's been love before. But to Tank, if I may quote Aubrey Graham, 7 words from Aubrey Graham: don't do it. Please don't do it. That's all I got to
say. All right, Complex.
Yeah, just like G and Tro said, I mean, he's supposed to say that, you know, yeah, I'm going to call you out, but realistically, it's not going to happen because we know that Devin has a multi-fight contract with Top Rank. He's got to fight Cambosis 1, 2, then fight Lomachenko. Then if he gets past all that, if he wants to stay at 135, then he may fight Tank. That would be a good fight, but I think Devin Haney outboxes him pretty cleanly over 12 rounds. It's, you know, it's unfortunate, like the way boxing politics works, because I would love to see that fight. And I don't know if the belts are going to be, I don't know how the mandatories work. I don't know if the belts are going to stay intact all the way through, because a lot of times, you know, mandatories come in and the belt has to drop off. So if he stays undisputed all the way through, that would be pretty interesting. But he's supposed to say that because I know we're going to get into predictions later, but I think Devin beats Kambosos, and then Devin's going to be the man at 135 with all the belts. So you want to fight the guy who has all the belts, because that automatically legitimizes you in the history books as a champion. So Devin's going to have a lot of people calling him out. But realistically, Tank's not going to fight him. Tank should fight Ryan Garcia. And I know we're talking about that later. I think that's the fight to make. And I think for both fighters, that's the biggest fight, the best money you can make right now. And it's going to do the most for both of your careers. But the whole Devin Haney thing, yeah, it's just talking. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Not with the way the fights are set up in the contract. So it is what it is.
All right, TBE.
Yeah, I agree with my co-host. I like to quote my friend right here, my brother Caden, when he says when he calls out Devin Haney, it's just pie in the sky.
That's not a quote. That's not my quote.
I heard it from you.
Well, I heard it from
that's
you.
A saying. That's a saying, though. That's just an old saying, though. Yeah, it's pie in the sky.
Because I heard it from you. I never heard that saying outside of you. But, you know, pie in the sky. It's just all talks. We know Haney's booked up for about 2-3 fights. And Tank is just doing what he's doing to show face after a win and saying, I'm using people's names. Let's call out the guys who ain't busy. Ryan Garcia, Teofimo, Vasily. These guys is looking for a fight. So let's call those guys out who aren't busy. Let's take them off the hit list. But Tank, you using Haney's name is the safe route. It's the safe route. You know he's booked up right now. Instead, let's go for the guys who need a fight next.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just want to say something real quick. Like, Lomachenko is the real candy man. Like, they don't say his name. They like, hopefully he'll just go away. You know what I'm saying? Nobody says Lomachenko's name. You say his name, he's gonna appear. Y'all don't want that.
Yo, Haney want that name, son.
I'll say this. I agree with you, Ned. It's pie in the sky. This dude is not taking on elite competition. And so, like, you know, I don't necessarily know what his tantrum was about with Floyd. Maybe he was mad because, you know, he got exposed and people keep saying he's being coddled because he said, like, oh, you got to take the training wheels off. Who are they going to take the training wheels off for? Like really? They're going to take the training wheels off and let you fight who? And do you know what that means, Tank? Because you saying that you want to fight Devin when you know that he's already locked into a 3-fight deal elsewhere. But let's say you did fight Devin. He's taller, longer reach, more skilled, faster. Like if Rolly could keep you at bay, what's he gonna do? Mm-hmm. And his IQ was off the charts. And he didn't start boxing when he was 17 years old. He's been in the gym since he was a kid too. And therein lies the difference. Here's another difference between you and Devin. Devin is fighting for actual undisputed right now. And although Devin received an email belt, there's a reason they emailed it to him and not to you.
I was going to say, at least they emailed him the real one.
Yeah. There's a reason they emailed the belt to him and not to you. And the reason is because a fighter as good as Vasily Lomachenko, who had that belt, chose a different fight than Devin, which to me, I think was an equal fight that posed equal risk. But Devin had already put himself in position to earn that fight. Here's another difference from you, Gervonta Tank Davis. Devin wanted that fight. There's the difference. Devin wanted to fight Vasily Lomachenko. Devin was campaigning to fight Vasily Lomachenko. It was Vasily who didn't want to fight Devin, not because he was scared like some of the Devonites would want you to think. No, he wanted to fight a bigger fight against Teofimo Lopez, not because he was scared of Devin, but he wanted the bigger fight. But the point is, Devin wanted to fight Vasily Lomachenko, Gervonta, and you didn't. That's why he was emailed the belt, because he put himself in position to actually fight Vasily Lomachenko when you were scratching your head about it. Still to this day. But
Lomachenko.
Also, Gervonta, Teofimo Lopez beats Vasily Lomachenko. Then Teofimo Lopez loses to George Kambosos. And that boy Devin says, I want to fight George Kambosos. He wants to fight the top guy. Not only does he want to fight the top guy, he agrees to go to Australia to fight the top guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then come to find out, he's going to have to do it without his daddy. He's going to have to do it without Ben Davison, which is something I didn't know. They didn't even let Ben Davison go in there because of his ties to someone who is a criminal. Not because Ben Davison is a criminal. Not because Ben Davison has a criminal record. Because he's affiliated with someone with a criminal record. My God.
Mob ties.
Yeah. It's mob ties. My man can't come into the country. So now he's there with Zav Judah's daddy. Still didn't pull out the fight. Still out there. That's different. That's different levels, Gervonta. There's no way you can substitute that. Mm-hmm. Devin's going after real belts. You're holding them. Your man, Calvin Ford, whatever, he's tapping them secondary belts like they mean something. Devin's trying to be the man. Now, here's the problem with boxing sometimes. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. I'm going to give you an example. Floyd Mayweather was the most talented fighter of his era. But in his era, there were people who were bigger pay-per-view attractions before him. Like Oscar De La Hoya was a bigger pay-per-view attraction. Felix Trinidad was a bigger pay-per-view attraction. Roy Jones Jr. was bigger than him at that particular time. But Floyd was always the most talented. So if you froze their careers at that time, Shane Mosley was even bigger attraction than Floyd Mayweather at one point. If you froze their careers at that time, you would have been like, why would I want to be Floyd? I could be Shane Mosley. I could be this. They're making the money. They're the ones fighting on pay-per-view. That's the current moment we're in with Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Great analogy.
We're in that moment right now. But when you fast forward and things played out, Floyd was the last man standing. Floyd was the one who beat all of them. Floyd was the one who beat Oscar. Floyd was the one who became the pay-per-view star. Floyd was the one who broke all the records. Floyd was the one who inherited this because not only was he entertaining outside the ring, but inside the ring, he was the best. He was the most skilled. He was untouchable. And I think we're in that moment right now with Devin Haney, where people are looking at Ryan Garcia and they're looking at Gervonta Davis and they're looking at all these guys. And it's easy to say, oh, well, who's selling the pay-per-views? Fine. But Devin goes and beats, Kambosos in Australia. He goes and he beats Vasily. We're talking different things now. And then he goes on and he keeps doing what he's doing. We're gonna see later on that Devin actually has the chance to be the next Floyd, what people's really talking. Because being the next Floyd isn't about being a gimmick and winning these gimmick fights. It's about actually accomplishing things. And Devin's accomplishing things that go beyond pay-per-view. Those pay-per-views aren't going to get Gervonta in the Hall of Fame. Devin's building legacy. He's building his name. And for all people, what all people are saying right now, again, this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And remember, these guys are all young, and Devin's laying the foundation to build a solid house. Tank, his house is built, but, it's real flimsy.
It's on foil, you know what I'm saying?
You better hope that a hurricane doesn't come through. That thing's going to fall.
It'd be those quick HGTV flips. That's what we got. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.